Hello, Seiiti Arata. Have you ever thought how constant complaining can affect your life? How do you feel after spending the whole day complaining and ranting about everything and everyone? When you complain about something, your attention focus is actively looking for things that are wrong. So you become basically a professional complainer after some time. You become a whiny. We're going to talk about that today. I want to explain to you why this is not a very smart strategy and how you can change it. Where does the urge to complain come from? Complaining is caused by discomfort, by frustration, and these feelings trigger the complainer attitude. When you are under stress, your brain actively looks for a way to release that anxiety. And what is the easiest way? Well, it is complaining, ranting at the first innocent person in front of you. And on the one hand, there is the ego. To complain a lot can be a sign of egocentrism, thinking that the world is spinning around us and everyone is there to meet our needs. And whenever things don't go the way we wanted, we complain. But not all complainers are fitting this stereotype. They are not all spoiled or self-centered. There are also those who are complaining because they are suffering. And in some way, it's almost like they are asking for help because that person cannot see how to deal with that situation. And then they complain. When a mature adult person complains, it is obviously not to deliberately annoy people. That person is not intentionally wanting to be this emotional vampire and spread negative energy to everybody around. Just like anybody else, the complainer just wants to be happy. And the problem is that this strategy is not particularly smart. You know why? Because the more we complain, the unhappier we are. Complaining is the result of a perspective of scarcity, because you start to believe that you are forced to do that horrible thing that you do not want to do, but you just can't see other alternatives. You have no choice. Your only choice is to be complaining. However, you do have other possibilities when you see life from a perspective of abundance. And nobody is actually forcing you to stay in that uncomfortable situation. Nobody can force you to do anything in this life. Everything is up to you. It is your decision. It is you who will decide whether to tolerate that situation that you're complaining about. You don't want to be that person who sees life from a perspective of scarcity. Complaining about the past is not going to change the past. Complaining about the present, just complaining, will not change anything. And complaining about the future also will not change anything. It's not going to bring a different outcome. You need to act right now, at this moment, with smart decisions, with good actions. And I want to help you to complain a little bit less and adopt a more abundant life perspective. What can you do? Make up your mind to never complain anymore from now on. Stop complaining right now. From now on, use your focus in a different perspective. Be grateful for the good things that you have in your life. Watch our previous video about gratitude. You can go to arata.se/hello89. Use your efforts to improve, learn, evolve, grow. Life is so short. Your days here in this planet, they are counted. Why are you going to waste your days complaining? Why don't you use your time improving? In the same way, don't waste your energy complaining about things that you don't like. Instead of that, use your energy, use your time, use your motivation to do something constructive, something good, something useful. Bring people together. Act. Do something. Do a social project. Create a group of people committed to a particular cause. Do something. But if you don't feel enough motivation to do all those things, you're going to say, oh, no, come on, that's so much work. Let me complain about how much work that is. Well, maybe it's better to be quiet. Because it is your conscious decision to not do anything about it. Be careful, complaining is a contagious attitude. Sometimes complaining is a way to release our stress. It's so easy, isn't it? By complaining, we try to get the understanding, the compassion of everybody else around us. We want them to understand our point of view and how horrible things are, and we just want to share our frustration with them. But be careful with that, because some people end up creating a different identity around all this criticism. They may even feel superior because, when they're complaining, it's almost like they see better, they know better. It's like that critic sitting on the couch who knows everything. For any situation, that person can always find a problem, find mistakes, even though he or she does not do anything about it. They just complain. Pay attention to the type of conversation you're having with the people around you. Is it a normal conversation, or are you just complaining about something? When you complain about something to your friends, what do you do about it? Do you like to read those articles and blogs, and what are those people who enjoy complaining about all types of political, economical events, but they don't propose any particular good action? Words are very powerful. And when you say something, when you think about something, you're telling your brain basically how to behave, how to act. When you're complaining about something, you are directing your focus to the problem. But when you stop complaining and you start making better decisions, then you start to see the whole world, the whole range of things from a new perspective, a perspective of abundance. And then you'll be able to assume the control of your future. Something important to point out here. When you're filling out a survey to give your opinion about a particular product, about a specific company, this is not really complaining. You are acting. When you go to the streets to make a demonstration against the government, that is also not complaining. That is acting. You want to do some type of action that will bring you something better. Then you can know, and you have an internal peace, that you did something to reach a preferred destination, to get rid of a problem, to improve your circumstances. What you do not want is to be feeling remorse because you're just complaining, but you chose to do nothing. So the question is, what happens when you complain about everything? And the answer is, you start to believe you have no other choice. Just complaining is disempowering. Instead of complaining, you can do something to improve things. Disappointments and errors, they're all common. And if you're going through different things, you have different projects, commitments, responsibilities, it is quite normal that you will have difficulties, you will fail from time to time. The problem is to stop learning, to stop improving, stop doing. And complaining is the way to be stagnated. And what you want is to use the opportunities that failure will bring you as possibilities to continue your personal development. But if you feel that you're still not ready to quit complaining, you can go step by step, little by little, baby steps. Just try to think about situations in which you feel that urge to start complaining. And then start also understanding what are the situations, how and the frequency about your complaints. After that, after you have this conscience that you're reflecting about it, then you can have your next steps towards a more abundant life. You can see more perspectives. And when you're talking to someone and that person starts complaining, you can tell that, you are at least trying to stay at least 1 week without complaining. And then you can suggest to change the topic of the conversation and talk about maybe proposals or improvements instead of just complaining. You must change your mentality to stop complaining. And we have a whole course to help you on that. It's personal development. And I'd like to invite you to check the details of the course by going to arata.se/personal development.